Hey, this is Max with Weller Truck Parts. Today we'd like to kind of show you a little bit about the Ultrashift Eaton Fuller setup here. And so in front of me I have a 18-speed B ratio currently. Today we kind of wanted to go over a little bit of the products that we offer, some of the support that you can receive from us. We'll start off with talking about one of the main things that we first got into, which was the XY shifter. These things are relatively simple components, but they are extremely crucial to the transmission itself. This is what's going to actuate each gear and essentially keep you in gear. We also got into the Ultrashift Plus transmission controllers. These are offered in any trans model you could possibly need. We are able to troubleshoot them and R&R them as well. Typical things that like to go wrong with these transmission, usually one of the main things is the transmission harness. Certain things like these, they're not a big fan of being plugged and unplugged. Eventually with any type of chafing that can happen or any type of vibration, eventually you could get some type of damage, or it might be something you can't even see yourself through even ohm checks. Some of these things just like to go out is one of the main issues that can come about. Other ones that you can find are the XY itself as they get worn in, and what will happen is the bolts on the side here will start to expand and the can motor itself will get loose. If you can turn these like so, it's considered bad. What happens is that you actually get intrusion in through here, causing it to get a buildup, which will eventually make the motor seize. That will cause you to either get stuck in gear or just not be able to take off at all. Typically the TCU is really good about telling you a code, but that is one thing that is easy to check on these. Luckily with these you can try and do a shutdown calibration with them flipped over on the transmission. So being able to do this will allow you to inspect to make sure that this finger is moving when the truck is, first turned on. That will allow you to see the neutral sweep. If you see no motion, more than likely there is a code present that is hindering this from wanting to even begin its process. As far as TCU wise, common issues we find in these TCUs for the Ultrashift Plus is typically a start enable relay or a range code can typically get stuck inside of the TCU itself, which will cause obvious issues from even being able to start the truck to making it through all your gears. Luckily through Weller, we're able to help troubleshoot any of that, and our testing equipment is able to find any of those issues. We have the ability to run each of these through the gears, not just the XY, but the TCU itself, to allow it to think that is essentially going down the road. What we want to do is mimic as much as we can as far as the environment and what it's going to go through while it's out in the field to hopefully find and kind of pinpoint an issue that you might be having. One of the main other issues that we'll find is just typical power supply problems. If it's just not getting enough battery voltage, it will have a hard time trying to communicate with the truck. I've seen it all the time. It's usually just something as simple as maybe a bad ground or anything like that. So sometimes it's one you can actually just get away with cleaning something up and get back on the road. So as far as physicality, we've gone over that. What I'd love to do next is kind of go over some codes and common codes that we see when customers' product comes into us. So if you'd like to follow me, I'd love to go into the lab and show you what we got. All right, so welcome to the testing lab here at Weller. We'll walk right past our Cummins simulator and tester right here, move past our Allison tester, right onto our Eaton setup here. We have every generation of the Ultrashift, from the Autoshift all the way up to the Ultrashift Plus. Generation 1, Generation 2, and Generation 3 and 4. 3 and 4 luckily can be ran on the same top cover due to the similar kind of XY shifter. So we don't necessarily have to have a Gen 3 and 4 setup, which is nice. Right now I have it hooked up to a Generation 4 TCU. As you can see, we have a full harness set up. Behind that box is an ECA. Comes right up to our setup here, which allows us to mimic things in the truck. Input shaft speed, output shaft speed, main shaft speed, basically whatever you're going to find that allows us to do any type of data monitoring. Right here we always have Service Ranger 4 pulled up, which allows us to pull any type of info, whether it be history or current activities. So of course every testing equipment should always have an emergency shutoff. This one is equipped to allow us to pull and disconnect the battery essentially of the truck. So once we pull that off, you can see we make sure everything is working. All of our fuses are still in line. By flipping that, it allows the service to power up. You can hear the ECA click on, and once it'll do its self-check, it'll start going through a neutral sequence and everything like that. So this has been an introduction to the Ultrashift transmission and the diagnostic software used to troubleshoot. Feel free to subscribe to us on YouTube, and then also feel free to check us out on wellertruck.com, where you can find even more info. Look forward to more videos coming. We'll be sure to keep you guys informed.